Hello, welcome back to another Rounders Roundup. You're joined with me, Cal, and that's my good buddy Gaz over there. Say hi, Gaz, over there.
Hi, Gaz over there.
There we go. We got a bit of an interesting one today, where we because Dan's not here, we can talk about our own teams and not feel bad about it too much. But also, after some comments from Rob Manfred earlier in the week, we thought we'd have a look at some expansion talk. See about some places that we might want to see some teams, and also fuck around with some divisions, see if we can get weird with it. But first, I don't think either of us are having a particularly great time. What's been happening over in Chicago?
Same as last week. Offense can't hit. Pitching's been really good. Offense can't hit. Brewers went on a 16-game win streak, which ended at the Reds. They're doing some voodoo magic over in Milwaukee. I'm telling you. Like some of the ways they're winning games, it's just like you just look and they've just got another way of winning a game. As we film this is we're recording this on the 20th of August before Game 4 of the 5-game series we have against the Brewers this week. And the first game in the series pretty much summed up the Cubs season against Freddie Peralta. A really good pitcher, but we can get to him. I think it was like it was 0-0, bottom of the second, or it might have been 1-0 to the Brewers. I don't know. Don't really care. We had bases loaded with 3 walks and then struck out, and that ended the inning. Kyle Tucker in the first game of the series this week rolled to first base 57 times in 2 at-bats because he just can't hit at the moment. So he's now been benched for a 23-year-old rookie. But we had a doubleheader yesterday and we swept them. We beat the Brewers with their voodoo magic. But just to sum up the voodoo magic, we were 2-0 down. Can't remember who our starter was on Monday, but Cade Horton, he had to leave early with a blister. At some point, the Roger twin that we have, I think we've got Tyler.
Taylor.
Or we got whatever. Came into the game, and the Brewers scored their 3rd run because Taylor decided he wanted to throw the ball over the first baseman's head from about 5 yards away. So that sort of voodoo magic, which has just kept the Brewers all year. Look, I'm not saying they've not got a good team, but it's just stuff like that. In the Cincinnati series the weekend before, I saw that Ellie De La Strikeout had decided to just absolutely muff a throw over the first baseman, which he probably should have kept. That just sort of voodoo stuff that just seems to be happening game after game. And the whole power of friendship, which any Mastodon players that listen to this know that I invented well before the Brewers thought about it for the London Mastodons. So a bit of copyright there. But yeah, just more of the same. It was nice to see us beat the Brewers twice yesterday. We're 72 and 54. We've got I can't complain. We're still first in the wild card race. And it's very likely we make the playoffs, but it would have just been nice to, not be 7 games behind the Brewers when we were 6.5 up.
Yeah, that's quite a big drop there. But no, how's Kyle Tucker been? Because now we're kind of looking at free agency watch a little bit. How's he been since? Because I remember the start of the season, he's hitting, everyone's happy, and then just at a certain point, you were like, he just kind of looks sad.
Yeah, so I think it was in the Miami Marlins series. I want to say that's mid-June. He jammed his finger stealing a base. Had to come out of that game, but didn't go on the IL, which in hindsight is looking like a mistake. So the injury kept him out of the lineup. He couldn't field for a couple of days. He was back as a DH, and apparently he made some sort of adjustment to his swing just to help not hurt the thumb. And I think that mechanical adjustment, how hitters are. Well, I don't, but people do. The royal we. Any sort of adjustment you make can really fuck up your swing if it doesn't go well. And I think the adjustment he made basically just mucked up his swing. The bat speed comes down, and just every at bat he's trying to swing his way out of it. So it's not even like he's taking his walks. And then since July, I think in August he was the worst qualified hitter, or one of them. I think he was just worse than PCA, or just a little bit better than PCA. But PCA was striking out every plate appearance. But since July, he's been terrible. The Cubs fans have started booing him, rightly or wrongly. I think it's more there was one where he sort of grounded out to first base, which is his favorite hobby at the moment, and he just didn't run because it went straight to the first baseman. I got it. I wouldn't want to run if I could just see like he's 2 yards away from the base. By the time I've just like finished my swing, I'm not going to do that. But I think Cubs fans are annoyed. Council came out after the first game in the Brewers series where he again rolled out to first base 3 times, and they're just little weak ground balls. Like even I could field them. Probably still wouldn't throw him out, but I'd get a glove on the ball. And he just said, we're not providing him with answers. Tucker's not providing himself with answers. He just needs to take some days off and a bit of a reset. So he's not on the IL. He's just on the bench at the moment. How this affects free agency, I think it's even less likely he signs for the Cubs. Unfortunately, you'd like to think if he had performed well all year, he might think, oh, something special here. But this has been his worst streak as a professional baseball player in majors. Hasn't homered since 2024 at this point, it seems like. But yeah, it's been rough. I think it's maybe cost him $100 million, to be honest with you, in the free agency deal, because it's now 2 months of just utter shite.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is like how, because there's only so much that your attitude can play a part of not being able to like hit your way out of it, and kind of the positive mindset, seeing the ball well, feeling prepared. But like, yeah, this has got to take a few zeros off of his kind of deal, maybe a couple of years as well.
Yeah, you could make if he. I mean, he'll come back because of course he will. Before the end of the year, because you can't have someone like that not in your lineup, and he'll start producing again. But maybe not so much on the value, but maybe more, as you said, on the years. Maybe someone who was looking at maybe giving him a 10-year deal is maybe going, maybe he gets a 3-year deal or a 5-year deal with an opt out. So that's probably where it's cost him. But we'll wait and see. He's still going to be a good player. It's probably just one of them slumps that people get, but it's just been because he's been so good and now he's been terrible. I think just that dichotomy between the two, people are like, yeah, there's something going on here. But anyway, as much as I love talking about the Cubs and being depressed, I think it's only fair I bring you down to my level. The Giants, how are we getting on over there?
First pitch home runs on like the last 2 games. The first game against the Padres, back-to-back home runs. Only the second time we'd done that since the game before. Just stupid. Like pitch 1 and pitch 3 of the game, score 2, hit 2 home runs, and then don't score the rest of the game. Jung Hoo Lee, I think, hit a home run yesterday, which fucking weird when that happens. But again, I'm pretty sure, I could be probably wrong, but it felt like the only run of the game. Jesus himself, also referred to by his human name of Casey Schmidt. He's having to play more third base, which is his preferred position. I don't know if Chapman's hurt again, or similar to Kyle Tucker, where he's a bit of a veteran, and he wasn't playing super well. You give a chance to some of the other guys coming up, give him a break. He doesn't need to play every day if we're not competing. Kind of just keep him in the clubhouse, be good vibes, Matt, that everybody loves. But Casey's been playing not second, which means that Tyler Fitzgerald or Christian Koss have been playing second, which is fine. It's a decent platoon. Christian Koss works his ass off, to be fair to him. It's just not going super great. Casey Schmidt tends to have a series once a month where just a few errors he'll make. Like everyone, drops a ball, kind of doesn't have the perfect throw all the time. Casey Schmidt seems to have one series where it's bad and we lose a game because of an overthrow from Casey Schmidt. And taking wins away from the Padres also sucks, purely from a fuck the Dodgers standpoint. But I just don't understand what the Giants are doing, because there's still this kind of like, well, we are only like 9 games behind, which, is a lot, but also is like a week and a half. There's still games to be played. It can happen. It just doesn't feel like it. and I just don't know what direction it's going. And I love Bob Melvin. I think he's great. I don't know if the contract's getting renewed at the end of the season and what effects that may have on the players, but it feels a little bit like it did when it came to the end of his tenure in San Diego, where just the players in the clubhouse just kind of, it's not that they're not listening, and it's not like they don't care. It's just kind of like, well, what are we doing? Like, are we giving the new guys some reps, which seems to be what we're doing with Drew Gilbert in right field. It's great. He's had like 2 hits. One of them was a home run. Fucking rad. But like, he's hitting like .052 or some shit. What are we doing? Like, are we trying to win? Because if we are, then maybe we should fix that. He's a decent outfielder. He's pretty good, but it's not great. But then also like keeping Willie Adamas in the lineup every day, keeping Rafi Devers like hitting DH all the time, like keep like not resting more of the veteran guys and kind of giving the younger dudes a bit more of a chance would indicate that you kind of given up. But they're not doing that. They're only half doing it. And it's what the Giants have done before, where it's just 500 baseball, where just everything's down the middle and there's no direction either way. And what I liked at the trade deadline was that they seemed to lean to the side of selling and be like, look, these are players that we can get back if we want. We've gotten good value for them, but we're not spending big and pushing for it. We've accepted our fate a little bit. But there still seems to be this weird kind of like, no, but we could. And it's like, ah. But realistically, we won't. So let's fucking stop, right? Let's keep playing baseball, but either we got to give Logan Webb a break, or because I don't think he's getting the Cy Young this year, which is a crime every year that he doesn't. What a god that man is. But like we gotta get some more experience for the guys that need it, and give the dudes that might benefit from a bit more of a break this year, next year, kind of get that happening a bit more. And I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's happening, but we beat the Padres the other day. That always feels nice. We will be losing to them at 2 a.m. UK time today, so that's fine. It just also, the more we play in other ballparks, the more it's like, yeah, the fucking Oracle Park is a massive hindrance to the Giants. This team is good enough to succeed, but the ballpark means that they don't. So there's been
Yeah.
talk about changing dimensions in right field and stuff, but I don't think you need to change dimensions. Think you need a fucking dome or some shit to stop some of the wind from killing the fly balls as much as they do.
Oh, mate, you're preaching to the choir with that one on Wrigley. I think Wrigley is like the worst field for the wind. Like if the wind's pushing in, you're not getting a home run. You're getting flyouts to the warning track.
Hitting a ball 110 miles an hour, 36-degree launch angle, right to the shortstop. But anyway, that was sad, and sad is lame. Let's have a look. I believe you've got a map ready for us to squiggle on.
I do. Well, for me to squiggle on. So this is gonna. So if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, you're not gonna be able to see the map. So we'll do our best at describing it to you. Before we go there, so this sort of the main segment is the only other story we're going to talk about. We were going to cover Tommy Pham being a bit of a dickhead, but
there's
I
been
feel
enough negativity today.
Yeah, we'll touch on that next week. So background to this: Rob Manfred, commissioner of the MLB, everyone's favorite commissioner, said no one ever in the history of ever, was commentating on the Little League World Series, which was the Mariners. I think Mariners versus Yankees. It was that series. He's popped on the air with ESPN, and he's basically said some comments regarding future MLB expansion plans and division realignment. Now, we've covered on this podcast in the past, potential areas where MLB could expand. We also covered it on the blog, sort of one of our first articles. But I just want to read you his quotes word for word. In my mind, I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity to geographically realign. I think we could see a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel, Manfred said. And I think our postseason format would be more appealing for entities like ESPN because everyone loves ESPN. Because you'd be playing up out of the East, out of the West, and that 10 o'clock time slot where we sometimes get lost in Anaheim would be 2 West Coast teams. That 10 o'clock slot, that's the problem for us sometimes, becomes a real opportunity for our West Coast audience. I think the owners realise that there's demand for Major League Baseball in a lot of great cities, and we have an opportunity to do something good around that. Manfred is going to retire in 2029. He has stated previously that he wants to oversee the expansion of 2 Major League Baseball teams, which would bring the total to 32. As everyone who cares about MLB knows, we currently have 6 divisions of 5 teams. If you add 2 teams to that, you cannot divide 32 by 5 and get a whole number. You cannot have half of the Rockies franchise playing in the West and also playing in the Central, as funny and incredible as that would be. So just, again, what we've got here is, I'm just going to share my screen. So what you'll see here is we've got a massive map of MLB teams, which I've carefully not copyrighted from anyone, and I've put it on a paint app. And what me and Cal are going to do is we're first of all just going to touch on the expansion, and then we're going to have a bit of fun with division realignments. So if you can watch this on YouTube, you can see that we're just going to have squiggles, and we're just going to sort of, make nice lines like that, which are just covering 4 of the teams, and there'll be our divisions. But first, we have to discuss about expansion. So you'll see that I've added 2 MLB logos onto locations on the map, which are currently in Portland, Oregon, and for some reason I've added it to Charlotte, North Carolina. Probably should have added it to Nashville, Tennessee, but we'll just keep it there for now. This is where it's rumored, 2 of the locations that are rumored that MLB teams would be. We're just going to keep these for now because it's a ball ache to change these logos on the map. Now I'm on paint. But Cal, in an ideal world, where would you love to see the teams expand? If we had 2 teams, where would you love to see them play?
I'm all in on a Portland team. I'd buy a jersey tomorrow. I famously love that place. I think it'd be really great. I think that kind of up there is a lot of love for sports that kind of got a bit taken away, like largely with the Seattle Sonics, like the basketball team. And I don't know, there's just like Oregon's a cool, progressive kind of place, and especially Portland, the correct one. There's a lot of funding. It's the baseball diamond project or something. There's a place set out on like the water where they've got space for a stadium and it's been purchased. Like this land is set there for a stadium. They need the kind of backing, and it's got athletes like Russell Wilson involved of Let's Ride fame or whatever the fuck he did, Mr. Unlimited. I'm excited for Portland, and then over on the other side, I think Nashville's nice. Being a big music guy, having a fun music themed baseball team would make for some real fun kind of special nights kind of thing. Like you have country music night at the Nashville baseball team, like you call them the fucking F holes or whatever. I don't know, but like you could get real fun with the branding. And I think that, with the rise of Banana Bowl and stuff like that, like the MLB's taking a look and being like, oh, they like the traditional part of baseball is still important, but people want the excitement there still, and that's difficult to keep up over 162 games, and especially if expansion teams usually will be shite for quite a few years. That's okay. They gotta build up through draft picks and trades and what have you. But I think that there is an audience there, and going off of like your NFL research, I don't know. I feel like the Titans versus what is it? The fuck Jaguars? No, it's Jacksonville. Panthers?
Carolina? Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're talking about fucking maybe moving somewhere else. The Titans, they're there to stay. So I know. I think Portland and Tennessee is my votes because they're both cool places. There's an audience for it. It would make sense, and also they're close to other teams. Like Seattle would have a local derby rather than a local derby with fucking Houston. Is it?
No, I think. Oh no, it's not Houston because they'll play the Rangers. I think it might be the. No, it's not the Giants because I don't know. I think it's someone like the Padres.
Yeah, like traditionally, it's like North California versus Seattle. That's like the local thing. But that's 12 Scotlands, that fucking length. That's fucking miles away. So you give them a team that's a little bit closer, then yeah, fucking that's good for everybody.
Yeah, it's called the Vedder Cup
The Vedder
after
Cup, the
Hall of
Eddie
Famer Eddie Vedder. I
Fuck yeah,
think
that's stupid. What's he got to do with San Diego?
I don't know. I literally just googled it. I remember because they have this like rivalry weekend where like American and National League teams will play against each other in like special series. So the White Sox play the Cubs,
Mm.
Milwaukee play the Twins, Giants I believe play the Athletics, Dodgers
Mhm.
and Angels. You have the Metropolitan Series between the Mets and the Yankees, and I think it's like the Mariners obviously don't have anyone within like 3 states, and the Padres are kind of there. Like again, they don't have anyone nearby. The Diamondbacks are in their division, so they don't play the Diamondbacks. And I think MLB were like, "Well, you guys aren't doing anything, so why don't you guys play each other?" So
Well, Eddie Vedder wore a Padres jersey once, so we can do that. You know, you like fucking Pearl Jam, right? Even flow, feeling on a river, never river, the concrete. Let's do a derby over that. It's phenomenal.
sounds good.
Anyway, let's have a look at. So I've got an article from the Athletic that I don't disagree with too massively, where like as a realistic
Yeah.
expansion, not
So
expansion, realignment.
Cal's going to read these out for. So I think the key thing for Rob Manfred was geographical location. So what
Hmm.
we're going to attempt here is Cal's going to read out the geographically divisions that make sense in inverted commas, and I'm going to attempt to draw them out in different colors on this very very cool looking Google map. So bear with us if you're watching on YouTube.
All right. So, do you want to do it as like the American League and the National League are just two separate colors, or do you want the AL West, North, South, East as all different colors to the NL?
I've got 8 colors along here. I'll make it work. Just
Okay.
you hit me with division.
So let's start with the American League and the AL West. So the way that I believe that they've done this, which I quite like, is that there's not a lot of new division changes for teams. So that would be Seattle, Portland. We've got them in Sacramento, but Las Vegas and Anaheim. So that would be one there.
That works. They are the black line.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Then you'd have the AL North, which is Minnesota, the White Sox, Detroit, and Cleveland. Here we go. See, like this makes sense.
Yeah,
Not the
it's just
the Twins. Yeah, the Twins are in Minnesota.
Twins, White Sox, Tigers, Guardians.
Okay, and then you have the AL East being Toronto, Boston, the Yankees, and the Orioles.
Oh God, oh, I can make it work. National League, the National League ones are going to look weird. I might just erase the lines. Yep.
Nah, fuck it. That's all fine. And then we would have the AL South as the new division, and that would be Colorado, Kansas City, Texas, and it's gone. The Astros.
I was going to say, surely it'd be the other Texan team.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
so
change the color.
that would kind
Okay.
of make sense to be there.
Okay, so what we've got here basically is we've got the Rockies moving from the National League to the American League.
Hmm.
Sort of like the only change. The Royals coming from the Central. Obviously, we don't have a Central anymore. So I think that geographically makes sense to me.
I
Um,
quite like it.
yeah.
I
The
think
issue.
it.
I was
Go
going to
on.
say the issue you got with the Rockies is they're not really near anyone, similar to the Mariners. And if you're so that's where the toss up is between this West Coast team. They're either going to go Portland or they're going to go Salt Lake City in Utah
Mm.
to match with the Rockies. But I think Portland makes more sense. But that's just a fun fact.
I think Portland's just a more attractive place to put a baseball team than Salt Lake City.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree. Are we
Utah's
happy with those lines? I'm going to clear them off and we can just have a blank canvas for the National League.
Nah, keep them. It's chaos. Let's
Okay. Okay.
go. Then for the National League, we have the NL West just being the competitive ones there. So yeah, being the Giants, the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Snakes.
That's not terrible.
No, that
That's
makes sense.
that's a fun division as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it is already
Yeah.
anyway. Then you would have the National League North being St. Louis, Cincinnati, the Cubs, and Milwaukee.
God. I'm trying to do a Ghostbusters and not cross the streams too much with the lines.
Dude, you can't cross the streams. Saying don't cross the streams while this is in yellow as well is phenomenal work.
Anyway.
The NL East would be Pittsburgh, the Mets, Philadelphia, and Washington, which would be a division change for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but they're similar to the Rockies in the Central, where it's like everyone else is relatively competitive, and then the Pirates are sort of just there.
They're similar in the Rockies in the who cares?
Yeah.
And then the National League South would be Miami, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and we've put them in Raleigh, North Carolina for just now, but Tennessee,
North Carolina or Tennessee, it's the same.
wherever.
So geographically, they make sense if you were to keep the American and the National Leagues. I mean, some of the lines look a bit weird, mainly the piss line with the NL North, but to me that makes sense, and it keeps the National League and the American League as a thing, which I think is so. No one. There's been rumors that they're just going to sack off National and American League, and they're just going to go balls to the wall, combine them, and just have the four nearest teams. So picture this. This is the Athletics and Cal's one. I'm now going to wipe all the lines off and just give you an example of what that would look like. So you'd be looking at, like, if in this example, you'd have the Mariners, Portland, I think it'd be the Athletics and assuming that the Athletics are in Vegas. Yeah, you probably would. That probably would stay the same, but you'd have the Giants would be with the Athletics, Portland and the Mariners. You'd have the Diamondbacks with the Padres, Angels, and the Dodgers. You then probably, this is where it gets hard, you've probably got the Red Sox, Yankees, Mets, and Phillies all in the division, which would just be absolutely horrible for fans of that team.
For people attending baseball games and enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun. And then this is where it gets difficult, because in the Midwest, you've got all of these rivalries that don't really make sense if you break them up. So like the Cubs and Cardinals are probably up there with the Yankees and Mets, and to an extent the Dodgers and Giants as like long-time rivals that you don't want to break up. And in this example, we are breaking them up in the West. And I think it only makes sense if we have the Twins, the Brewers, the Sox, and the Cubs as a four.
Yeah. And then, then I think if you go Toronto, Detroit, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there'll be a four.
That's quite fun. That's the coldest division of baseball.
And not about ability-wise, just pure temperature.
No. Then I think you'd probably stick with Colorado, Kansas City, Rangers, and Astros.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think that one's going to have to, unfortunately, be that way.
And then you'd go Cardinals, Reds, Orioles, and Nationals.
Yeah, and this is why people aren't a fan, because that's quite a lot of travel for them. You've also got the argument of they don't want to break up the Cubs, Cardinals, or the Giants and the Dodgers. Yankees, Mets obviously are still the same. And again, that leaves you with the two Florida teams, the Braves and the other East Coast team. For me, I'm not a fan because it breaks up quite a few rivalries. I think the way the Athletic had it made a lot more sense to me.
What if we did it so that it was the Twins, the Brewers, the Tigers, and the Blue Jays? And we kind of did it as the Lake Michigan, Lake Erie
Yeah, I've heard
situation.
of this as like the Great Lakes Division, which is a
Yeah,
cool
and
name.
then you could go Cardinals, Cubs, Sox, Reds. That works. And then you could go
You could go
Guardians, Pirates,
Pirates.
Orioles, Nationals.
Yeah, that works, pal.
Yeah, there we go. We've solved it.
For anyone looking at this, just looks like a mess now. I think the key thing to realize is no one knows how this is going to work other than Rob Manfred and MLB. It will depend on when the two expansion teams are, and also what they want it to look like. There's been rumors it follows a hockey trait where it's 4 divisions of 8 teams, and I'm not even going to try and mark that up on a map because I can't be bothered, and it's not fun. But what is fun is if we have a little bit, we bring a bit of a British twist to the divisions. So, got a couple ideas I'm going to run by you, Cal, and you just tell me what teams come to mind. So the first one, we're going to go proper. We're going to go proper English football, and we have the Premier League. So we'll keep it to 4 teams. So I want your 4 best teams regardless of geography. Who are in the Premier League?
Who's the 4 best teams in baseball? Are we
Ability
keeping it like
ability
right
wise.
now? Like
Yeah, right now because we're going to assume there's promotion and relegation.
assuming there's promotion and relegation. Okay, so I'm going Blue Jays. I'm going fucking Dodgers. I'm going the Brewers. And I don't really care about anyone else.
I think it's the
Maybe the
Tigers.
probably the Tigers, yeah.
Yeah, they can go in. Why not?
Yeah, go on. Get that
That's a
power
fun.
creep.
That's a fun division for these 3, and then but for the Brewers, Tigers, and the Blue Jays, and the Dodgers have just got a hell of a lot to travel each time.
I don't care. I hope they burn in hell. Well, maybe they get like a Man City kind of loads of financial misconduct breaches, and they get relegated a few divisions, and they have to play the Rockies, the Marlins.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So at the bottom of the totem pole, Rockies. I'm assuming the Marlins are quite good at the moment, actually.
Yeah, at the moment, but so are Wrexham. Who gives a shit?
Right, yeah, they're in there. I mean, the White Sox have got to be in that division as well.
Yeah, the White Sox do. Sorry, White Sox.
And then who else is shit?
Angels?
Yeah, why not?
The Angels or A's?
It's got to be the A's. It's got to be the A's.
It's got to be the A's. I feel a silly affinity to the A's because they feel like your annoying brother that's moved out and gone to university or something. It's like I miss picking on him. I always hated him when he was there, but now his room's empty and I feel sad.
What a sad life to be an A's fan. I feel bad for them. So yeah, and then that would work. You'd have promotion and relegation. So I think the Cubs would probably be in the 2nd division of, say, we have 8. The Giants are probably somewhere like 4th and 5th division. I haven't actually worked it out, but
I think if you're going this season, the Giants are kind of around 500, so they're probably at the bottom of that 2nd tier.
yeah.
So you probably got like the Cubs, the Padres, the Giants, some other teams that are all right. The
Phillies.
Mariners, the Astros, the Phillies. Okay, maybe the Giants don't belong in there.
Okay, so this we'll do a couple more just because we just passed the half-hour mark. The dickhead division.
Oh, okay. So the Phillies, they're right up there, followed closely by the Yankees.
Nice little interstate rivalry there. Not far to travel.
Yeah. How many teams are in this, or is this
You can
just?
have as many. You can have as many as you want.
So
I think the
many
Astros have got to be there, haven't they?
Well, I don't know about the Astros fans, and fucking Bingate was like 5 years ago, so I don't know if we can still hold them to it. It doesn't feel fair. You can't hate on a whole franchise forever because of one team. At some point we got to accept that they're slightly above mediocre and no one cares. I'd go the Braves.
Okay.
I don't like that they do questionably. Uh, is it racist? I don't know. The tomahawk chop. Fucking get that out.
Yeah,
Get
I
that
think
out
it's
right now.
yeah. We won't go into it, but we can have them in. I'm gonna put the A's in there just because you own them.
That's not fair on the fucking fans. I
Are we
thought.
talking? Are we talking about fans? Is that how we're defining dickhead?
Yeah, if it was
Right. Well,
just the owners, then it would be all of them.
all right. Well, Dodgers get in there
Really?
straight away.
Yes.
Um, See, I'm going to put the White Sox in there as well,
Okay.
just because there was a shooting last year.
Oh,
I mean, sorry, a gun got discharged through some woman's fat. It was the official line.
phenomenal. Never change America. I don't know. I don't mind a lot of. I feel like a lot of the fans are quite like, because I don't like the Padres, but you can't knock Padres fans. They're fucking. It's just about sold out every week, even when they're shite.
Red Sox?
Yeah. Someone has to be, and
Yeah.
maybe by association, probably the Mets.
Okay, so the entire East Coast,
Yes.
Northeast, the entire Northeast Coast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um,
I like.
Orioles are good as gold. Okay, I think we've got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 teams in that, 7 teams in that division.
Oh, then we need either to lose one or to add. We'd take the Mets out. We'd take the Mets out.
No, I think I prefer to add. I think it'd be more fun.
Okay. In which case,
I'm looking at Miami.
you're looking at Miami and adding them? But
Pardon?
which I don't
I'm
know.
looking at Miami. I'm looking at the Cardinals, but that's probably a bit biased. So
They're both very tolerant sets of fans is my issue with it. Like a lot of these teams are very tolerant. Fuck it, put the Astros in. You can hate a franchise for 1 year, I've decided.
lovely. So our dickhead division would be in no particular order: the Los Angeles Dollars, yeah,
Dollars.
Los
Good.
Angeles Dollars, Houston Astros, White Sox, Red Sox. We've got all the Sox, the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, and the Atlanta Braves. So that's our dickhead division, and then on the flip side, we're gonna have the friendly division, everyone's favorite teams. I'll start us off. We'll go Giants,
I
and we'll go
appreciate that.
Cubs, and we'll
I
go
think
Cubs because let's be fair, both teams are in there. Let's have another 6. I think Seattle.
yeah, I know that you're not supposed to like them as a Giants fan because they're a Seattle team, but fucking who cares? Cal Raleig's the shit. Their fans are fun. The franchise does good things. I like them. Um, hey man, anyone that supports the Rockies deserves a fucking medal.
Yeah,
They should be
they're in.
winning this.
Blue Jays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Blue Jays are in. Canada's only team doing it for Montreal.
Yeah.
So that's 5. I quite like the Orioles just because they're like the first East Coast team you get, and you're like, maybe you're not dickheads.
Yeah, I feel like they're a friendlier team. Baltimore is not a friendly place, so I've heard. I like the Orioles. They're
Yeah,
fine.
that's 6.
We'll go Padres.
Going back to the West Coast for 7.
You have to reward good behavior. I don't know. I'm looking at like who's put up with the most shit out of like the Twins, the Tigers, the Guardians, the Reds.
Pittsburgh.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. Let's go Tigers.
Okay,
Let's
good
go the
pick.
Tigers.
Okay, so our friendly division, which are teams that we like for absolutely no reason other than we're fans of baseball. Again, in no particular order: the Seattle Mariners, the San Francisco Giants, the Colorado Rockies, the San Diego Padres, the Chicago Cubs, the Detroit Tigers, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Baltimore Orioles.
Exactly.
That's 8. So the last one I want to do is what's the last one I want to do? It's like the least attended games.
Oh fuck. All right. So
So like
we're
these are
going.
going to be pulling in like 20% of the fans.
Yeah. So this is the Angels, the Diamondbacks.
Oh, where's my brush gone? There it is. We'll change colour. Where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. Diamondbacks, Angels,
I don't know.
Pittsburgh.
Are people going to Royals games like that?
No, we'll just put them in there.
It's kind of too hot to be sitting outside.
I've always said, like, why? Like, I want to try and hit all 30 ballparks. It's not going to happen, but I'd like to, in my head, try it. It's like, why? There's two that I always say, why am I going to go there? One is Kansas City. The other one is Cincinnati. It's like, why am I going to be in Ohio?
Yeah.
From what I've heard, though, the Cleveland is a worse city than Cincinnati. Just with, like, when everyone goes, when all the ball players are like, where do you not like traveling to? They all say Cleveland because there's nothing to do. So
No thanks.
we'll just
All right,
Cleveland in that.
we'll go them then. Do people go to Nationals games now that they suck? Oh no, fucking no one's at Rays games. Ever.
Well, yeah.
Even when they have their own stadium. There's fucking no one there.
Right, we've got two more. I'm not opposed to putting two Ohio teams in there.
We can go to Ohio and to Florida, I think.
I was about to suggest that as the last one, so let's do it. Let's chuck the Marlins and the Reds in there.
Hell yeah.
So our last fun division.
Nightmare division.
Yeah, so the 20% capacity division. The Disneyland Angels of Anaheim, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Kansas City Royals, the two Ohio teams, Cleveland Guardians and Cincinnati Reds, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the two Floridian teams, the Tampa Bay / New York Training Complex Rays, and everyone's favorite fish, the Miami Marlins. I think we're going to end it there. So let me stop sharing my screen.
I like those.
That was good fun. A little bit longer for a roundup as well, but we didn't really post last week. So that wraps it up for the roundup. Coming up next is a real special episode. It's the Brit Does Baseball birthday celebration that all three of us are going to be on for the first time in what feels like forever. In reality, probably about a month. And we're going to be on celebrating all things Brit Does Baseball with two Brits and an American. So for this episode of the roundup, Cal, have you still been Cal?
As far as I know.
Oh, perfect. Well, I think I've still been Gaz. You've been fantastic as always. Happy listening, and we will catch you on the next time.
Thanks.